Alright, you guys, welcome back to another episode of Banished. And in today's episode, I kind of want to take it in a different way than I have before. A lot of the episodes I've done have been very grindy, very get things done, very let's do some time lapses and things like that. And don't get me wrong, I love doing stuff like that, but I kind of want to do something different. Just let me know how this video turns out and what you think about it, about the ideas I'm going for here. I might do a few more videos like this just because I think that it might be a little bit better content and spruce things up a bit. Don't worry, we're still going to be staying in the city for now. The game hasn't completely lagged out on me yet, even though I think we're officially over 1,000 in population. But I'm still going to stick to the city until it lags out and goes crazy on me, and we're just going to take a turn for a few episodes. So we've been very much so just trying to survive until now. Now this video is going to be titled How to Decorate a Pasture, or how to decorate whatever this is. Yeah, it's technically called a pasture, so pasture. Or I guess how to decorate farmland would work too. But yeah, basically I want to go ahead and show you guys exactly how I personally decorate in Banished. So as you can tell here, I have a fenceless pasture that's been decorated, and then I have a fenceless pasture that hasn't been decorated. Now the main difference you can tell is kind of astounding at how different it looks. Like this looks so plain, just plain Jane, weird, and nothing's been done to it. And this looks a lot more natural and a lot more like they just put a fence around nature and kept them in the pen, which is what I wanted to go for instead of just having them kind of walk around like over here on the right. Now, as you can tell, when you build these pastures in the base game without any mods, you get the standard pasture, and it builds a fence for you, and as well as this little hut thing right here, which is great. However, when you have the mega mod like I do, or I think Colonial Charter has it as well, you get the option to do a couple different pastures. So with the pastures, you can do the standard fence one, which has a fence. It doesn't really show you when you put it down, but it does have a fence. You can get a fenceless pasture like what I have right now. You can build your own, but it still has the pen. There's a slope conforming one where you can go ahead and like have it go all the way up here. Somehow that works. I'm not entirely sure how that works, but you know, hey. Then a bare pasture doesn't even have anything in it. Like you can do whatever you want and put it wherever you want, which kind of makes more sense for like free roaming things. Then we also have this guy with a new shelter. It's a little bit more of a rinky-dink shelter, probably better used for a smaller type of pasture. And we have this one with some bushes, just a few bushes. Again, looks probably better for like a smaller community that you're going for. Now, in this one, I have, like I said, the standard fenceless pasture, and I'm going to go ahead and throw in some more fences around it, because that's the first step. You definitely need fences, otherwise this is not believable at all. Like, no one's going to believe that I have cows just standing here without being fenced in. Like, this should be everywhere. The cows should be over here eating all the food I'm growing. Like, this is not believable at all. So let me go ahead and put down some fences real quick. Now for the fences, when you have the mega mod included, you have all of these different icons down here in the build decorative items section. And when you come to it, there's two different ways you can do it. These ones actually act as actual items, so they take up one full block, as you can tell. Or if you feel like you're short on space and you can't really afford to put a full block there, like I couldn't even put, let's see if I can find one. Let's find a fence. Like, I can't put it here because technically I have a road there, which sucks. So I have to usually use these ghost decorations. So I always go to the ghost decorations and click on build different styles of walls and fences. And from here you have your different selection. Now be careful when you pick them, because some of them, as you can see, it says build colonial edge walls. That means they're literally on the edge. No, let me get a straightaway. It's on the edge of the block. Like of the square that you can build on. It's not in the middle. It's going to snap to one side or the other. Then they have the regular build walls, and it'll be right down the middle. And it depends on the look that you want to go for. Like I could do down the middle, but then I personally don't like seeing like all this extra grass right here in between the road and the pasture. And so I'm going to go ahead and definitely stick to the edge ones. And then for this one, I believe it was one of these, the wire fences. It was. I like the look of the wire fences just because I do. I'm not entirely sure why I do, but I do. So I'm going to go ahead and pop in some of these, as well as throw down a fence. Where is the fence at? Right here, I believe. And that one came out one square, so we could probably do a fence here. And then you have make sure you hit the F button to cycle through to see if you have any other things. Like there's a closed fence and an open fence. I always like to do an open one just because it seems more believable to me at least. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and plop this down and be right back in about 2 seconds. Alright, so now that we have officially gotten the fence put in, it is time to continue our decorations. Now the next step of our decorations is going to be putting down tons and tons, not tons, but a bunch of different little plant life. So let's go ahead and hit on this button. And within here, we're again going to go to the ghost blocks just because we're building on top of something here. So we need something that goes on top of it seamlessly, which would be ghost blocks and pretty much only ghost blocks. But first things first, when you take a look at this, you notice that there's some trough for some food, which is great, but there's absolutely no water. Now, realistically, when you have a pasture like this, there would be some type of water. Just saying, you don't want your animals to die. That's for sure. You really don't want them to die. That'd be the opposite of what you need. So you can go ahead and pick a few troughs like I did over here with the deer. So let's just go ahead and place a few kind of randomly, but kind of close to where we are over here because it makes more sense if they're closer to the pen compared to all the way out here on the other side of everything. And then let's do maybe one more for good measure, like right over here. Yeah, like that. Perfect. Now, again, you can do some other extra details if you'd like a windmill like I already have there. I don't really think I need another one on this one because we're so close. Definitely hay piles. They make the most sense, especially with any type of pasture item. So you can go ahead and just do a few dotted around everywhere pretty much if you'd like. It makes more sense with cows than it did with deer. So I only had a few with the deer over there compared to what I'm putting down here. Then we can go ahead and do some carts, because especially it makes, when you think about it, when you're working with animals and you have to transport buckets of milk or meat from the animals that you're working with, then it definitely makes sense to have a few carts laying around. So we can go ahead and put down some types, like we could do a hay cart right here. That would make a bunch of sense. We could do not really the fruit, maybe some of that, but this one would probably make more sense because it looks like it's got some meat on it instead of just your regular whatever on it. So I can go ahead and probably plop that down. I don't want it to look, actually that should be fine, having it inside. Yeah, that should be fine. Then we could also, if you're feeling like it, do a few log piles because, you know, when they're out here they might need some fire, some wood going on. So we could probably just throw in a few like right here. No, that's not gonna work. We could do probably just a few. That'll work right there. Then we could also do some types of barrels if you'd like to show that they have more things that they're trying to transport, but I'm not going to go so much into that right now. And then another thing that I like to do is have these little transparent ground squares, because there's no way this is going to look this perfect. There's going to be some places that are muddier, there's going to be some places that are dirtier, or just not even have that much grass, you know? Or there might be some places that are greener. That might be a little bit too green in comparison, and that might be a little too out of place. But like a pasture square works, and then we have regular grass like this might work too. And I just kind of go around and spam it. Honestly, spamming is like the best thing to make it look like it's natural. Ignore all the clicking noises, I apologize. But that would help it. I'll give it a little bit more texturized. You could do flowers if you like. I don't really like these flowers too much just because they look a little weird, but whatever. Moving on, you could do even some like different pathways if you wanted to make it look like it has its own pathway without building one. You could probably do a few grass squares as well, kind of put it throughout. You could probably do a few over here. Just a touch. There you go. Now, of course, we want some trees. We don't want it to look like a barren wasteland. We could probably do a stump right in the middle. Let's do some giant trees. Definitely want to go for bigger trees in this case. Like, if you get some tiny trees, they look great, But to be honest, tiny trees don't do much for the area. You want to get something large like that so that you can actually see it from far away. And maybe not that. That's too small. That's too small. Birch is too small. Town oak. Probably could do a few. Just a few. Then we could also go ahead and plop down a stump or two. And then I like to do, I added a pond over here. I'm thinking about doing the same thing, only making the pond smaller. Let's see if I can find it here again. Right here. A small pond. That's a small one. Did I do a small or a large? I did a large over here. So let's do a small on this side. Probably like right in the middle would be cute. And then with the ponds, I love to do rocks, but we kind of got to wait till it gets built up, at least so that I know exactly where I'm putting the rocks. Then you could also do some, not decorative animals, you could do a signpost if you'd like. Decorative piles of resources would be good. Oh, we got our thing up. Let's go ahead and put down some rocks. We could do some of the smaller rocks, put a rocks on the side. Just a few here and there. Kind of make it look like it's a naturally formed thing. We could even add a campfire over here to the guys who are working, make it look a little bit more lived in. And then bushes, of course. Whenever you have water, you're definitely going to have plant life around it. So it makes sense to add a few bushes just to give it a little bit more color as well. You could even throw in like a couple flowers if you'd like. And then if you'd like even more, you could go around and just place a few bushes randomly. Not too many though, because it is a pasture, so you don't want it to look like it's being taken up like a forest or anything. But definitely just a few here and there would be nice, especially because cows have a tendency to go where the shade is. So the trees and the bushes that are huge are definitely helpful for them. And then definitely put some reeds down near the pond because it makes the most sense out of all the other plants that you could possibly do. And then, I mean, we could do a few other things, like some more flowers, I guess. But honestly, once they finish building, oh, did I really put? Oops, I didn't mean to put that on top of the road over there. Oh well. But honestly, looking at it now compared to before, prior in the episode, this already looks a lot better, a lot more lived in, and a lot more loved. Just a lot more friendly on the eyes, too, compared to having that big square of absolutely nothing. But I think that's going to about do it for this episode, you guys. Oh, yeah, look at how nicely that's coming together. Look at that. Look at that. That looks so nice. So nice. I definitely approve of it. And then it's still, obviously, it's functional because none of these are going to be interacting with the actual people, so it works still just as fine. But yeah, like I said, I think that's going to about do it for today's episode, you guys. I told you this is going to be a little bit different. If you did enjoy this different type of episode, please leave a like down below. If you have anything to add, if you liked this type of tutorial thing of how I decorate things, then please let me know down below in the comments too. If you have anything else you'd like to say, if you like the other style of the Banished videos better, let me know as well in the comments down below. That's the only way I'm going to be able to know is if you guys leave me feedback about it. But yeah, so that's going to do it for today's episode. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. And as always, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.